bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical.
Hello everyone, welcome to Patriots Across The Pond, Midweek Metals with Matt Geiger, and we're going to have a great show today. Not only is it episode 17, but what was I going to say? Ladies and gentlemen, saddle up. We got a new sheriff in town. How we doing?
We're going for it, man. We're definitely going for it.
Good.
You know, listening to Juan and what Juan talks about with the sheriff, the position of sheriff, you know, definitely a position that I think holds the most, believe it or not, the most weight. And if the stars start to align, you know, we could actually do something about it. Call in the military, you know, call in the military.
Yeah, definitely. So we were all really excited to see this news today, and I've got your picture here you sent us.
That is badass.
We were talking about this on last week's show, weren't we? I don't know if that was, you know, when you thought about it or you've been thinking about it beforehand, but
I thought about it for a couple of years.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, so question, when will your website be live?
Oh, you're saying the one here? Christine actually made that for me. We'll have it up one of these days. I'm not in any crazy rush, but I do want to start putting it together and filling out paperwork and, you know, throwing my. I don't honestly. I don't even know how the process works, but I'm a fast learner.
Yeah.
And I think we could garner quite a bit of support out here. I mean, I know a lot of people, and I just think, you know, we need a Q candidate. And I think, you know, I just got back from California last week with Lewis, you know, our buddy Lewis Herms. And he definitely inspired me to just be like, hey, you know what? Just go do it. Just go do it. Don't even think about it. Just go in there. And I've got some clever strategies that I won't talk about on air. I'll tell you guys in person. But yeah, let's do it, man. You know?
Yeah. No, it's brilliant to hear. This is what local action equals national impact means. General Flynn, you know?
I mean, what are they going to do when I start talking about Michelle Obama being a man?
What are they
going to do? And Ruben Gallego being, you know, the modern day, you know, Pablo Escobar. And all the phony home sales by Katie Hobbs. You know, what are these allegedly? What are they going to do about it? There's nothing to say. You know, they've been laundering money, stealing money, and why not go kick in the doors? Let's go kick some doors in.
Yeah,
sounds fun to me.
Well, there's so much information coming out, isn't there? And we've seen.
I'm doing it for fun. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for fun.
So, you know, specifically when it comes to this, do you, because I don't know anything about the world of sheriffs beyond that, it really is the sheriffs that are our basically like line of defense, you know, with a lot of the tyranny and stuff. But what is the process? You have to put in papers, you have to, and then do they pay you to be a sheriff? Like, how does that all work?
Yeah, you get a salary. I mean, don't care about the salary. It's kind of meaningless to me. I'm not doing it for the position of the money aspect. I would just do it because I want to kick indoors and I want to do it right. Yeah, I want to do it. I want to do it with, I live in Arizona, so I want to make Arizona a better place. And I'm looking to get in touch with Joe Arpaio. I'd like to talk to him. And
next question I was going to ask you. What about some of the previous sheriffs, like Sheriff Joe?
Yeah, I want to get in touch with. I have friends in law enforcement out here, police officers and whatnot. I'll probably just go down to a police station and pick their brains about how things work and try to get myself familiarized. There's a ways to go till that election would happen. So I feel like I have enough time to, go drive down to the Glendale PD and, kind of talk to them about it. Because Glendale, where I live, we have a great police force here. Matter of fact, the head of the Glendale PD was at the Trump rally, where I was actually at the Trump rally right down the street here, where RFK Jr. and Trump joined forces.
Okay.
I was actually in the background. If the lights were on, you'd actually see me up in the bleachers. But our sheriff local, in Glendale, the sheriff of Glendale, which is obviously smaller than Maricopa, which is what I'm going for. I would love, he's obviously Trump endorsed, and we've got a good group here in Glendale. So, we'll see what happens. I got police that always sit in front of my house every day. So I could even go to them. We got people that want to fish in my river over here, my lake. They want. I live in the desert with a lake, which is kind of weird, but it's cool. Get cool wildlife, but yeah, there's always a police car here because people come into the neighborhood and fish, which doesn't bother me. But Karen down the block always calls the cops on them. So
they're there. So I have a question for you. Do you have to live in the jurisdiction where you're the sheriff? Is that
I would think so, yeah.
a requirement?
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have to be a registered voter. It's nothing to it. It's really nothing to it. I mean, I don't have law enforcement experience, but I think that could be a very good thing. I think it's just the motivation of just kicking indoors, exposing people.
Yeah.
I'll go get the ballots. And I'm bringing on the show.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So when is the actual, Stu, when is the actual election? What's the date on that?
I don't know the terms. This is all new to me, but the other guy came in 2025. So I'm assuming it's, they got a couple of years in there.
Okay.
But, yeah, it'd be nice to call in the military and have everybody arrested,
Yeah.
Probably a lot of police officers. I hate to say it, but there's probably a lot of police officers that are in on the take. I think of the movie L.A. Confidential. Remember L.A. Confidential, where the head of the police department was the guy running the racket.
Yeah. People are fed up, sick and tired. A lot of them, as they wake up, they want change, and they want, I was going to say normal people, but they want patriotic people that love their country and love law and order, and not these politicians or any of this corruption that we're seeing unfold day by day.
Well, I'm very inspired by your folks on the other side of the pond that we're seeing in Belfast right now. Good on them. Their police and their government overall failed them. And you know what they're doing? What they have to do? They're going 1776 style. I don't think it's going to get like that here, but you know what? They're going down and they're burning down the homes of these invaders. And you know what? That's what I'd do. I wish I could go arm you guys. I wish I could throw some weapons out there to you. You'd have the finest weaponry available. But I think you guys have it. Quite frankly, I mean, I grew up just hearing about the IRA. And you know what? I say bring back the IRA. Bring them back. All those guys that were running that, they called them terrorists back in the day. Maybe they weren't terrorists. I mean, I only remember what was reported in the news, and we know the news is fake. Right. So those guys clearly knew something that was going on, and maybe they're trying to put a stand to it back then. I'm going to look into it more, but I'm really inspired by those guys out there.
Yeah, I mean, there were some people put out a video about 2 or 3 months ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. Three Irishmen all standing there masked up with weapons and stuff, saying we need to start mobilising, because I think a lot of places in the world are having tougher problems because people have become so laid back about everything, you know, which is why, you know, it's happening in certain areas. But these protests at 7 o'clock last night in this country were all over the UK.
Yeah, it's disgusting, and I mean, we've seen these events before. I mean, this is just a very gruesome situation that I think, you know, brings people to a certain reality that, hey, this isn't going to stop. This is going to become an everyday thing if you don't put an end to it now. It's gone too far. It's been going too far, and I hope and I pray that people out there really, you know, step up their game and start fighting back, because those police forces out there, they're disgusting.
Yeah.
In the UK and all these different European countries. And I've said it for a long time. I said, watch. I'm not worried about the United States. I mean, we're going to have civil unrest here. We're probably going to have 17 cities burned, but out there, you're going to see probably a lot worse damage than that. And it'll be a good thing in the end. I think it's going to invoke, you know, Stu, you're from over there, but I think you becoming one of us, I think it's invoked the spirit of 1776 in you. And I think Tommy Robinson and those types of people, I think they're inspiring that sentiment, you know, and I think it's something that people in the United States, you know, we learn about the Revolutionary War when we were kids, maybe not anymore, but when I was, you know, growing up. And I think there's a certain spirit to that makes you just want to say, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I pretty much think, you know, I've been on protests where there's been a couple of million people. Yeah, I've been on protests where there's been a couple of million people, and pretty much everyone fighting in the UK is right on the Trump train. You know, it's why can't we have someone like Trump here, and look what he's doing, and this, that, and everything else.
Yeah, well, that guy, what's his name, Starn, or what's his name?
Rupert Lowe. Oh, what? No, Keir Starmer's the
Starmer. I mean,
wet wipe.
The guy's awful. You know, it's so obvious he's a paid shill. They all are.
He's their Biden.
Well, you got to be kidding. He is their Biden. That's a good way to put it. But who's the mayor of London? Sadiq Khan. You know, the mayor of London is actually a very powerful position.
Yeah.
Right? Don't the Queen and at the time the Queen and the mayor would meet, and the mayor would actually have more power than the Queen. So that guy Sadiq Khan, I think he'll start to being put in the spotlight here very soon, and I think what will be exposed about him is going to make people's stomachs churn.
Oh yeah, exactly. With the Muslim Brotherhood connections, allegedly.
He's a scumbag. He's a scumbag.
He is a scumbag, definitely. Even when the interviews he does, he's just a blatant bottom feeder and liar. And
yeah, he's not welcome. He's not welcome in Arizona. And if I have anything to say about it, he'll never come here.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we've got so much knife crime and people running around with machetes down there, you know, jogging bottoms and all this sorts of stuff. It's pathetic. You could stamp this out immediately. Anyone caught with a knife, 10 years in prison. You know, that's it. That would sort a lot of this out straight away. But they just won't do it, you know, and whether the Patriots are in control over there, what's been allowed to play out and stuff. And I say this to people all the time. Say we're all right. Trump is in control. We've got a white hat Q military alliance and all that. It says in the drops, we the people, military civilian alliance. The people have got to rise. So we're all wrong about it, and the deep state's in control. It's still down to we the people. So people have got to man and woman up and get involved in this.
Well, you open up gun ownership, right? This is the importance of the Second Amendment. And I don't think the United States should be the only country that has gun ownership. Every country around the world, it should be a citizen's right to own guns And that's, quite frankly, I mean, the Second Amendment is probably what's kept these people in check for a very long time.
Oh, that's why they've had a war on it, and all these false flags that they have all the time, using the emotional, the children just got shot, all that kind of stuff. And listen, I have, not to cut you off, but it angers me so much. I have had like knockdown, drag out arguments with attorneys. Okay, you're supposed to understand the Constitution and you're supposed to understand all that, right?
Shall not be infringed.
Guns are horrible. Guns are, okay.
Shall not be infringed. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
Shall not be infringed. And I don't, like, if I were to run out here, I would open up, the gun stores would love me because I would open up suppressors, silencers. I would open up those as sales that gun stores could do. I mean, that'd be a major source of revenue for them. And, it's really hearing protection. I mean, if you're an avid shooter like myself, I mean, sure, suppressors look cool. It's like the Hollywood, movies and blah, blah, blah. But really, at the end of the day, when you're shooting a .338 Lapua, which is a major round, it's still loud. You still have to wear hearing protection. But I mean, it really brings down those decibels tremendously. I mean, go out and shoot, 40, 50 rounds of .338 Lapua, suppressed and unsuppressed, and you tell me what your hearing's like when you're driving out of the range. It's completely different. So I love the angle, and shout out to Palmetto State Armory, who I'm not a big fan of their guns that they produce, but they've been in the fight and they're bringing the lawsuits to the government, which I love. And I love what Trump did in the bill last year, taking off the tax stamp on NFA items, National Firearms Act, short barrel rifles, suppressors that used to cost you $200. You'd buy a suppressor for $1,000 and then you pay a $200 tax to the freaking ATF. And let's be honest, I mean, with all due respect to the ATF, they're the biggest gun runners of them all. I mean, where did those, what millions of guns go to? The cartels under Eric Holder? You kidding me? And I think most people in these organizations are legit and good people, but unfortunately, these organizations like the ATF, like the FBI, like the CIA, right, the EPA, you name it, they're corrupted by the higher ups. Yeah. So it's like you can't attack the organization, but at the same time, they're enforcing laws that aren't even laws. They weren't passed by Congress, therefore they're not laws. They're just regulations that these government agencies made. That's technically not a law. Right. I don't care if you're talking about the ATF or the EPA. These guys are all full of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they enforce it and they put people in prison for it, which is screwed up.
Yeah. Well, Trump's been very, very vocal now, isn't he? Especially when it's coming down to election fraud and stuff. You see the interview the other day where he threw the microphone on the floor and then stood on it as he walked out.
It's happening, man. It's I think the pendulum shift. I mean, I think the pendulum's been swinging back in the other direction, but I think we're going to start to see a lot of things ramped up. As a matter of fact, as you know, I'm going to the fraud fighting conference in Vegas this next week, and there's going to be a lot of information. I cannot wait to see that Caviezel movie about the stuff that's going to start to come out, because we're essentially at that event getting the preview for what Tulsi Gabbard is going to start to release right before her departure.
Yeah. I did read a post yesterday that said apparently she's going to be releasing a lot of information about the origins of COVID and all that.
Yeah, that was the latest.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be immense if that comes. I still think we're going to have election fraud first, which will lead to the COVID still and how they did it and everything like that. But
I think there's still a divide in the people's minds, the normies, or as we started calling them yesterday, the abnormies, whereby they see it as two separate things. So I think they have to keep them going that way so they can metabolize until we see that it was all connected. And the first step is probably to start showing more intensely the fraud around that, because, we know just from having Renee on Red Pilling Renee, the regret, the fear, all this stuff, because he bought into that hook, line, and sinker and went for the jab and all of that. And so, that has to come out. You're going to have to deal with like one thing at a time before you jam them all together, in my opinion.
Yeah. Each issue will give itself its own credibility towards the credibility of everything else. And then people are going to realize, oh, I got played. I got duped.
Big time.
Well,
you know,
yeah, sorry. People are really watching. Trump's banged on about this for almost 10 years, isn't he, really, about election fraud and all this sort of stuff. The Democrats say it exists and it doesn't, and it does and it doesn't. But the people with TDS and the Democrats are watching this play out in real time, especially in LA, you know, with Spencer Pratt.
I was just about to say, look at the Spencer Pratt campaign. I mean, I have a good friend who is pretty high level on his campaign. And I mean, she called me up crying saying, hey, they're burning ballots. They're doing this, they're doing that. And it's going to come out. This is it. You know, it's been, I think, in the back of people's minds since 2020. Trump just did that interview with whoever that, I don't even know the lady's name, right, where he got up and walked out.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's going on there and he's setting them up, getting the, you know, he looked like a crazy guy getting up and, you know, taking the mic off, leaving the interview. And, you know, in reality, he's just programming people's minds to say, hey, watch for the fraud. And you're going to see where you're already seeing it. What are we, a week into the California elections?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Good movie.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, when this comes out as well, they're going to realise how much the media have been lying to them. That is going to be a major part of this.
Yeah, and I'll give myself a shameless plug. This is a great time to be getting gold and silver because gold's at 4,100 right now. Silver's at what, 65. I mean, this is the opportune time to get in. You know, get it while you can because this is not going to sit here forever. I'm a total control guy, and I think the white hats are in control of these prices. And I think people are going to have to start, you know, depending on where your, you know, point of awakening is, you'll either see it now or you'll see it later. But at some point, you're going to need to get your money out of these systems, out of these banks, out of these markets. You know, these where do you think the money goes through? It goes through the same financial institutions you and I bank with. You know. It's like what do you think the banks? Yeah, we saw total criminality in the medical industry, in the pharmaceutical industry. We see total corruption and fraud in the judicial system. But don't worry, the banks are fine. The banks, are, you know, nothing's going on there.
Yeah, it's certainly time to get in because, you know, you can be 17 years too early. You don't want to be one day too late, really. For any of this sort of stuff. And there's so much escalation of messaging from Trump, Dan Scavino, all these people that you can feel it, can't it? We've been doing this so long, waiting for this reveal for the abnormies. Not us, we know it's all going on. It's for them, because when they get on board, watch that Breer phone call into Dave News Treason, they are going to be cheering for Trump louder than we are. Right.
Yeah. You know, it's really cool. Like, nothing happens by accident, right? It's all, we had this conversation, you know, whatever it was, a month ago, all of us who were part of the Awakening Summit here on Long Island in April. And we're like, well, where do we have the next one? And I know there was reasons that we wanted to have it in Arizona, but I think the underlying fact that we're having it there is just so much bigger than just like it's a great part of the country. It's pretty. There's a lot of spirituality there. There's just a focus on that part of the country, and I think it's pretty amazing. And I don't know where we're gonna be by the time October comes when we have this, right? I mean, could be a lot more coming out, but nothing's really changed, or it could be a lot coming out and a lot has changed, you know, so it's kind of exciting.
A lot will change. I mean, I think we said on the last episode that in a month from then, which was last week, I said, you know, we're because of the drops that are going to be revealed by Tulsi and probably and others, the conversations we're going to be having on these shows. I mean, there's going to be so much information and so much stuff being dropped that it's like the whole world's going to be changing. So by the time October comes around, as you point out, we're going to be in a different world. And I can't wait to host you guys. You know, Sedona is, it's a beautiful place. I go up there probably 4 or 5 times a year. I try to get up there. That's quick drives, hour and a half, 2 hours, right up to 17. They didn't have those stupid roundabouts. You'd get in there even quicker. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think anybody who's watching, if you want to have a, time of your life, come to an awakening summit, whether that be New York. I mean, I think everybody goes to these things and they meet, their best friends, the people that really understand. And I think that's what's lacking, especially in calls I do with people about my own business. It's like people are just yearning for like-minded individuals that are like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And that's what makes our community very special, is that when you do see it, there's a forever bond that you have with those people.
No question. And we're still waiting, right? We still have a couple of T's to cross and I's to dot to finalize the hotel and all that stuff. But just to everybody out there, just know it's more than likely going to be the middle of October, 16th, 17th, and 18th. We've added an extra day, which is really exciting. But this could also be a really, like, for anybody who's got to travel and come from other places, this is, I would say, and I'm a New Yorker and I love New York, but I think having this event in Arizona, in Sedona, and all the surroundings of it, this is a trip of a lifetime if you can come and share this with us, because there's just something very special about the Southwest and the air and the environment and how it looks, and like you said, the mindset. It's a free state in terms of, Second Amendment and guns. And it's just a different feeling. And especially if we're lucky enough to have a lot of our followers that are overseas, for us overseas, Stu's side of the pond, I think it's just, and listen, you come out there, there's so much more to see than just Sedona. I mean, you've got, the Grand Canyon, you've got just that part of the United States is just very special.
Yeah, and I was talking with Donna last night, and we had discussed bringing people, whoever wants to come down back, 2 hours south to Phoenix, Glendale. We'll do like a party at my house or something. So we'll bring whoever wants to come. You guys can come to my house and hang out. Meet my dogs. They're just chilling here right now.
Well, I've already planned to come over maybe a couple of weeks early and stay at your house. I haven't told you that yet.
You're welcome, Stu. You're more than welcome, man. I got you.
It's a long way for me to come, so it was
absolutely.
It was great. I'd like to do something like that, do the summit, and then maybe go back to New York with Elisa and stay there for a bit. But obviously, if we get some,
you come whenever you want. Just give me like 20 minutes notice. Need about 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely perfect. There's a comment coming there that I find interesting. Was just trading silver stock, made good money today. Excellent. Outlaw off-road. But I was just going to ask you a question about that. Now, the stock market is up and down and stuff at the moment, and we talk about silver contracts and paper silver and stuff, whereas, it's highly advisable to get the physical in your property. So obviously, what do you think is going to happen with these silver in the stock market and all this paper stuff?
I don't know. I mean, I think the paper stuff's got to go to hell, because I mean, if you want to have true free markets, that whole system's got to blow up, but at the same time, there's a whole nother system of stuff having nothing to do with gold and silver that rides on it, including the stability in banking themselves. Right. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm not one to predict prices. I did say, though, I don't know if I said it on this show, but I did say I think prices would dip before they went back up, and that's what I see happening. So we'll see. Could go down a little bit further. I think any price. I'm a storefront, so I buy at all prices. I bought last week at whatever it was, 75, and I just take the inventory in. I'm happy to take the inventory. If I got to hold on to it for a later date where prices are much higher, that's probably what I'm going to do. But I love when there's dips in prices, because I could buy it cheaper, whether it be for my business or for myself, and I would suggest people get into that mindset, whether you're buying it 65 or you're buying at 95, I think it's a wise decision. So right now we're trying to push through, things like IRAs. I want to get people's money available as quickly as possible so that we can get a position at prices at these levels before it returns back up. So we'll see. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah. And, listen, not that we talk much about crypto or anything like that, but we know something big is happening. I mean, when you are transferring money, okay, and I just use myself as an example because I have an assistant in the Philippines that I've been working with for 3 years. So I've been sending money to her, biweekly. And it would take 4 or 5 days, and now it's like your money's there.
Yeah.
Which is just great. I mean, I'm thrilled because I know she's getting it right away, right? I mean, but when that first happened, I literally was like, what? I had to go back in. I was like, did I read that right? What the fuck? And now you realize there are significant things happening behind the scene with the, what looks like the dismantling of SWIFT. So what does that say for the banking system? And then what does it say for everything we have heard about gold and silver backed, the dollar being gold backed? So it's kind of a no-brainer,
Yeah, I like the crypto space. I'm I don't sell it. I just, I've purchased it and, I've done well. I know the crypto stuff's down a little bit right now, quite a bit. Probably now is a good buying opportunity if you're into that. Thank you. I appreciate the comment. But yeah, I tell people hey, I think XRP is a great place to be. Theta, XLM, some of those ones, maybe even Bitcoin, who knows? Right. I don't know if Trump's going to turn that from a negative into a positive. We'll see. That's the problem with the crypto space is that, especially if you're dealing retirement accounts is, it's so speculative that do you really want to put your entire retirement savings into that? It's you probably just want to buy cash here and there because the good news is if it's a loss, if you take a major loss on the stuff, you could write it off on your taxes at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Whereas your IRA, you can't do that. It's in the IRA. Your IRA is going to do what an IRA does. So I always tell people, especially retirement accounts, fortify that into the precious metals because that's something where I really think, if I were a betting man, and maybe to some extent I am, I would bet on gold and silver going up. Whereas I think a lot of the crypto stuff, someone could easily come in and replace it, and you just don't know what it is. As much as we like XRP, and I'm a huge fan of XRP, you just don't know, somebody coming in with something that's just going to completely obliterate it could totally happen. We have no idea.
We have no idea. And I guess my point was not necessarily to push crypto in XRP per se, but it was just to say there are so many signs that things are changing. So to your point, if you have money, you want to have it in the safest place you can. That's sort of how you have to look at it. And of course, we're not giving financial advice. It's just some of it is common sense. And if we are hearing that, the dollar is going to be gold backed and all this kind of stuff, precious metals seems like a pretty safe bet at this point.
I mean, it seems to me like Trump's saying it in every single way possible without physically saying it, And to me, that's a very positive sign. I mean, I always looked at as, being that I'm in the business that I'm in and seeing all this gold and having the Q mindset. I'm just like, what's with that ridiculous hair? Why is that hair sometimes? Why is it gold sometimes? And then sometimes it's silver. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this guy's communicating something. So he's I think absolutely saying it. And if there's one person in this world that I trust, other than you two, would be our amazing commander in chief.
Yeah, it could also be those guys are communicating. If one's got gold, one's got silver. Yeah,
exactly.
Can you just repeat that? Because did you just say if you invest in gold and silver with your IRA and 401k, that if you get a major loss, you can write that off? No,
opposite. So in other words, what I'm saying is put your IRA and 401k into gold and silver because you can do cryptocurrency in an IRA, right? You're able to do that. It's a very similar process to what I do with physical gold and silver. But what I'm saying is that outside of an IRA, in other words, let's say you have a Coinbase account or, whatever, Uphold or whatever it is you decide to use. If you buy $100,000 of cryptocurrency and it goes down to 20 grand, you have an $80,000 write-off outside of an IRA. Whereas an IRA, you don't want to take your life savings and have your crypto go to hell in a handbasket. There's no writing that off. And, it's so speculative. That's my only issue with the crypto space. Yeah. I feel like gold and silver is much more of a look, nothing's guaranteed. And I can never tell somebody, hey, it's going to go through the roof. But in my mind, I would say, gold and silver is probably your best investment protective wise. I would say this is probably a time where you want to be offensive, but really you want to also be defensive. And I think gold and silver physically is probably the best defensive strategy in this period of time. And that's probably the best way to approach what's coming down the pike.
Exactly. Now, so if you bought 100,000 of gold and silver and that went down to 20K, would that be the same as sort of like losing that 8% of crypto as losing 8% of gold and silver?
If you sold it, probably, because you would, with precious metals, you have to sell. This is outside of an IRA. You have to self-report. So if you came to me and you sold me 100 grand of gold and silver, you would have to report that yourself, right? It's up to you to report it. If you don't report it, that's up to you. You're taking a risk, right? You could get audited. They could say, hey, you got $100,000 check in your bank account. Where's our money, right? That's what the IRS is going to do. So yeah, it would be similar. But in other words, my fear is that the crypto space is so speculative that, what if something comes in and replaces XRP and, somebody's got something just on deck ready to go? I think it's probably not. I think XRP is probably a good place, but it's possible, and it's just, there's just so little guarantee to it. Whereas precious metals, hey, it's physical, it's in your hand. You know what I mean? It's in the Constitution. We have the U.S. Mint already producing the stuff among many other private mints out there. I don't think gold and silver are going anywhere. Whereas I think a lot of the cryptos probably are. Probably 95% of them are total bullshit.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you. I would totally agree with you. And I wanted to ask you, you mentioned last time about, are there any, we talk about it very seriously, gold and silver, but are there any, like, for people who may want to, also look at it like collector wise? You mentioned about, I think, the Trump coin. You want to talk a little bit about some of the fun things that,
Yeah, and let me be clear, this is not my business. I'd be happy to point in the right direction because we do not sell that stuff.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
No, I don't sell it. I buy it myself. I've been having a lot of fun this year with the U.S. Mint. They released the Gold Eagle, a week or two ago, like 2 weeks ago. And it sold out in, a minute and a half. But I got my hands on one,
Wow.
And those are being resold at, $8,000, $10,000, and $12,000. Wow. For a $5,300 investment. So, but that's one-offs, it's not, it's something I enjoy it, being that I'm in the business. I like the stuff, my birth year is 1986. So that's when the Eagle was created. So there's kind of a connection between me and the American Eagle program from birth,
So then let's shift that. Let's shift it to what you do sell and why. Like, I know you also talk a lot about the
basics. Yeah, because, when somebody comes to me with their retirement account, right, or a bunch of, hey, Matt, I just got an inheritance or sold my house, or, hey, we got too much money sitting in a checking account, whatever the reason is. I just put them in the basics, the stuff, the best bang for the buck. Silver Eagles carry a little bit more premium than bars and rounds and kind of the basics. But, I do advise it. To me, it makes no difference. As I always tell people, it's like I make the same commission no matter what. So I know it has a higher premium. It's not like I'm making a bigger spread or something like that that makes me say, hey, buy Silver Eagles or hey, buy Gold Eagles. I just think you get a better resale on them. There's a number of factors. And people can call me about that. That's stuff that when I talk to people on phone calls or Zoom calls, I'll go over that information with people, and it's whatever. As I always joke, and I say it seriously, is it's like, as long as they're in the comment section, like this gentleman said, or whoever it was, and thank you for the wonderful comment. Hey, Matt's a great guy. That's all I care about. I want to maintain my reputation, and for me, it's about giving people great service, great deal on the stuff, give them the insights, and whatever they decide from there. Hey, if you're happy, I'm happy.
What if you have bars, right? People that bought bars, is there any benefit or no benefit to trading them for silver eagles? Are you going to pay a little bit more, like, or it just
You'll
doesn't
lose,
matter?
yeah, you'll lose ounces in silver because of the premium difference, and there's a loading cost. Like, I don't buy silver or gold at spot. You know, I pay a premium to put it on my shelves, right? So it's like, and the customer has to absorb that plus my fee. So I try to have people avoid that. It's like, sure, can I make a sale and be like, yeah, okay, let's trade these in. If it's a lot of money, then you got to worry about shipping, and with the shipping comes insurance costs. I usually just tell people like, hey, you know, what's great about Eagles, and this is something that I'm not an accountant. I do not give tax advice. Okay, everybody clear about that? Everybody's clear. But with American Eagles, if you came to me with $1 million of silver American Eagles or gold American Eagles, you wouldn't pay any capital gains tax on that if you liquidated it. Whereas any other product out there, including junk silver, you would. That's my understanding. And unfortunately,
is that because it's recognized as legal tender?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But even junk silver stuff pre-64, like old quarters, dimes, half dollars, dollar coins, you would pay it on those.
Really?
So I think Eagles, you know, if you pay a 20% capital gains tax, what's the difference with a few extra dollar premium? It would seem to me that you'd want to go the Eagle route. And usually when I bring that up to people, I always tell them, of course, I'm not an accountant, don't give tax advice, blah, blah, blah. And unfortunately, you know, the other layer of that is that most accountants are probably going to tell you to pay on it because they're not familiar with how this stuff works. And they're going to protect their own rears from, you know, giving their client, you know, as their accountant, the wrong advice.
Yeah.
So I would tell people, you know, if you ever do decide to liquidate the stuff, talk to somebody knowledgeable, and I could certainly, you know, put you in touch with somebody that, you know, understands it a whole hell of a lot better than I do.
Yeah. And after we spoke last week, I went and had a look at the US Mint, at those Trump bronze coins, and they do, I think it's an inch, 3/4 an inch or something, but they do a 3-inch round as well.
They do, yep.
$45 or $160, I think. And I think I'm going to get one of those 3-inch rounds because, well, it's not only a store of value, is it? I think that is.
Well, put the material aside. This is what people forget: is put the material aside. It's bronze, right? So that's what, copper and something else. It's an alloy of copper and something. It's the first Trump coin released.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a great collector piece for $160 or $45. You can go and you can order a one-off directly from usmint.gov. You have the Mint websites, usmint.gov. Go look up the bronze coin. You can get it in either size, the 3 ounce or the 1 ounce, whatever it is. And that's a remarkable piece. That's something that in the future, we'll see how many are minted, but I bought a bunch of them. I have one on display here, one in my office, you know, a couple packed away for a rainy day. Yeah. They're going to be doing the Trump gold coin. And from what I heard about it, is it's going to be a 19.7 ounce gold coin.
Wow.
Adds up to 17, of course.
Yeah.
And they're only minting 47 of them. So if you got 100, 150 grand you want to throw around, that would probably be a good buy.
But if they're only doing 47 of them, that's worth 300 grand straight away, though, isn't it? Pretty much, if you get one.
They will be extremely valuable. I will tell you right now, I'm going to try to obtain one. I probably will not. The website will probably shut down like it did the other day. Wow. You won't be able to even log in. I'm going to try.
Yeah.
But that would be a cool one. I think they're going to produce a silver one. And unfortunately, it's not on the mint schedule. So if you go on the usmint.gov website, they have a product schedule for the year, you know, so you'll see what's coming out throughout the year, and it's not on the schedule. Yeah. So this is going to be kind of one of those random drops that might get some quick, heavy attention, and then boom, it'll be gone within seconds.
Well, if the president's watching, Matt, I'm sure they'll put one by for you for your patriotism. Yeah,
I would be honored. I would hold on to it. I wouldn't flip it. It would be for me and you know, my future. I would put it on, probably on display. We'll put it in the Q Museum.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to get one. I spoke to Elisa about it last week, but I forgot about it. So I'm going to, after the show, I'm going to maybe talk about getting one of those. Yeah.
And they have different sizes, right? I think when I went on the site, they have two
For the
sizes.
bronze one, yeah, it's kind of the bigger one and the smaller one.
Yeah, 1 inch and change, and then I think 3 inches or something like that.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
The palladium one will probably be a good one. Gold Eagle sold out. You could do the proof set. That's pricey. But yeah, I would definitely say this 2026 series is yep, there it is.
Yep.
This 2026 series is so they call it the semi-quincentennial. So it's the 250th.
Okay.
And it'll be fun to see what Trump does on July 4th.
Well, do you see what's going on? I saw some pictures. What's going on now in Washington? It's starting to look very World's Fairy.
Yeah.
Right?
And the stage they're building that we've talked about looked like a Stargate and that. And now Trump's talking about the Eiffel Tower. Well, they put it up and then they were going to take it down. They left it a bit longer, left it a bit longer, left it a bit longer. He's talking exactly the same about this stage. So are we going to be seeing some sort of public executions and hangings on it? I'd love to see that. And also what we've seen pictures of lately is the backdrop to this stage is almost identical colours to what the EBS looks like.
I was just going to say that. You beat me to it. Yep.
I got to check this out. I'm behind, man. I got to start watching some news again.
Well, let me tell you something. I was telling Stu, and it's sort of like giving permission. You know, we are in this movement and we are up to date on everything and we read everything. And I have to tell you, I have days where I'm just like, I'm on a little bit of overload. And my daughter said to me, my 19-year-old Kelsey, she's like, Mom, have you considered maybe just reading a fiction book instead of all this stuff? And I was
She's right. She's right. You might want to take her up on that advice.
I downloaded, ready for this? Because, you know, I'm obsessed with like mob stuff. I downloaded The Godfather, which I've never read. I've seen the movie like 30 times. I could, recite dialogue in English and Italian. And I'm just like, there's no purpose to it. You know what I'm saying? It's just listening and being entertained. And I just think mentally we need to.
I just got in the mail yesterday, the day before, the Ernest Hemingway collection.
Oh.
So I want to start reading some Ernest Hemingway stuff because growing up, my dad's friend, Jay Foreman, he was actually an author. When he died, his daughter married Jim Hagedorn, and Jim Hagedorn is the CEO of Scott's Lawn Products and Miracle Grow. You know, obviously a very wealthy guy. But Jay was a collector, and I think he, as a kid, inspired me to kind of think in those terms because, of course, I've collected a lot of Kennedy stuff and really unbelievable pieces, among other things. But Jay, I remember we'd go into when he passed, and I think he passed like 2010 or something like that. He was almost like a grandfather to me, and I think they valued his collection at somewhere between $50 to $100 million.
Really?
His collection. He used to have this downstairs room. We'd go and do New Year's in this, it's like colloquial room. And on the walls he had, medieval swords and, armor and, the goofy looking, pirate guns, with those weird barrels that, they're skinny and then get really fat at the end. He had like I'm not going to say on air with that one, but he had the Colt 1911, the 45, the 1911 pistol, which is a very famous pistol.
Yeah.
The Colt 1911. He had the Colt 1911. Like I have a Colt 1911, but he had a Colt 1911 from 1911.
Oh, wow.
But he had unbelievable stuff. But what I was getting at was he was very inspired by Ernest Hemingway, and he told me a story when I was a kid that it was like his idol was Ernest Hemingway. And he actually met Ernest Hemingway at a bullfight in Mexico. So he met like his hero.
Wow. Well, funny you should say JFK because last night we were just vegging out with some old Seinfeld, and it was the episode where Elaine has to buy the JFK's golf clubs for Mr. Peterman, and there's all this mishap, and they come back, they're all like crunched and bent because of all this stuff, and he's like, And she's afraid, like, oh my God, they're all damaged. And she's like, Elaine, I didn't realize he had such a temper. It was cute.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, the good old days. The good old days.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. There's the image, Matt, we were talking about.
Unbelievable.
The Stargate. Yeah, it's really cool.
I'm going to analyze that some more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing it, man. We're getting there.
So is anyone planning? Are you planning to go to DC at all? With all these festivities?
No.
I hadn't thought about it until maybe like a second ago, thinking because it's only 4.5 hours. Now that they've changed all these terrible ley lines in it. Well, not that the ley lines are terrible, but the connections, to all the satanic stuff allegedly.
Yeah, I know.
Have a different feeling there.
I had no interest in DC. I've really come around to loving Vegas. I mean, Vegas. I'm not a gambler of any type, but I mean, you can get great restaurants.
Oh yeah.
Just great food there. I always stay at Trump International, which, by the way, like I'm paying $126 a night at Trump.
Really?
Through Priceline.com. Like, if anybody's going to that event, you can stay at Trump. I guarantee you're going to run into all the big names there because the event's at the Ahern Hotel, which is right around the way.
Right.
But Trump International is great over there. It's an amazing hotel. I love it because there's no smoking. There's no gambling. It's just, great food. The restaurant's fantastic. Matter of fact, Lance, the bartender there, when I was there, a month and a half ago, he told me a great story. He brought his paycheck. Trump was there, and he asked to see his paycheck because he wanted to see the taxes he was paying. And he brought his paycheck, and they sent it up to Trump's room. And the next day, they announced no tax on tips.
Really?
So and they all the media tried to contact him and get in touch and blah blah blah, and then they created some story that it was some blonde waitress there, which there is no blonde waitress there, and he's like, no, it was my paycheck that started that whole thing.
Wow.
So shout out if Lance is watching, shout out to Lance. Lance is the man.
Yeah, well, that's one of the good things about Vegas. You can find hotels like Trump that don't have any gambling, any casinos, and you feel like you're away. You're not part of the craziness and but it's also not really an expensive town because it's so, they're looking to get you in the casinos.
Exactly. I don't remember it ever being this cheap to stay there, but
right.
It's, I don't know, maybe it's off season. I have no idea, but I mean, I guess it's really hot in Vegas, right? I mean, it's hot as hell out here.
Yeah, it could be seasonal.
Yeah, but it's fantastic. The rest, like I said, the restaurant's great. You get the Trump store there. You get all the official Trump gear, and you get like unique Trump gear there that you can't find anywhere else. Yeah, so like I always go in there. I buy a bunch of hats or shirts or whatever because it's unique to Las Vegas. Now,
how far is Vegas from Sedona? I'm just thinking road trip, but maybe I shouldn't be.
I would say there's exits to go to Sedona on the way. I haven't done that. Maybe 2 hours.
That's it?
2.5 hours, 3 hours, maybe.
Really?
It's pretty quick.
Because I drove. Never been there.
Yeah, I drove to Vegas last time, but I think it's going to be at the Ahern Hotel. It's the Fraud Fighter Summit. It's going to be a great event, and if anybody's there, 100%. I'd love to meet you because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I was thinking in terms of when we have our Awakening Summit in October, how far, for anybody who wants to do some excursions on their time, either before or after.
Yeah, so Vegas is right there. You got to go rent a car, go drive over to Vegas if there's something you want to do there.
Yeah, I think that could be fun, especially for people coming really coming in from out of town.
You want a good restaurant recommendation? Hugo's Cellar.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's where you get the Caesar salad with the anchovy in it, which I hate anchovies, but in the Caesar salad.
Well, it's minced up and pureed, right?
I get it's in the sauce, but I actually asked for anchovies on on top of that.
On the top. Yeah, no, I won't be asking for extra.
You'd be surprised. I can't stand anchovies, but you'd be surprised. It's actually delicious.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see.
Yeah. And you got to get cranberries in it too. Cranberries in your Caesar.
Cranberries, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Hugo's Cellar. We'll give him a plug.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool.
Sorry, I was muted. I was banging on. I've been muted.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, I was going. I hate anchovies too and all that, but I'd give that a go. Really,
Give
I'm
it a
not
go.
much of a seafood eater really and stuff like that. But,
You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed.
I'll try anything once for sure. And I just want to say, $126 for a room at the Trump Hotel sounds very, very reasonable. You know?
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great hotel. And what you can do when you go there, what I always do is I always try to upgrade. Maybe they know me and I get some sweetheart deal. I doubt that's the case, but usually like what Scott and I will do, because we've been traveling, we've been there a few times already, but we just ask for the penthouse suite. And for a nominal amount of money, you'll get like the big, on one of the top couple floors, you'll get the 2-bedroom. And that's a really cool experience. It's so comfortable.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a beautiful hotel. The rooms are great, comfortable. Just, the amenities are amazing. So thank you, President Trump.
Yes, 100%.
That's great.
All right. Well, we're going to have to chat more about that because there's a lot of different little excursions that we could do. And
I live a life of excursions.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I did like the way you say Sedona's only an hour and a half up to 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up to 17. Yeah, Sedona, you guys are going to really like Sedona. And I think anybody, just speaking to the audience here, it'll be a great event. And I hope everybody can make it. I will say this is when we start advertising this, because we're locking this thing down, the hotel can only fit like 139 people.
Yeah.
So if you want to be at the hotel when, with all the speakers and everybody there, convenience, right? You don't have to get up and leave or whatever. I would say when we start putting up the promo code for the audience to book your room, I would book it as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Like get your booking done. You got plenty of time to book a flight. You'll get a great rate on a flight booking it out this far. But I just tell people like we're going to have to find other hotels and things. But we'll talk about it later. But I'm just letting the audience know, like when you guys start promoting it, if you're in the audience and you want to go to it and you're serious, book at the hotel that we're at instantly. Don't sit on it.
Well, I think it was smart what we did because the weekend before the date we're looking for is Columbus Day. So we did it not on Columbus Day to avoid people, paying that premium for airfare or for hotels.
Right.
So we tried to work that into the mix.
Smart. Yeah. I want everybody to get there. I mean, I hope we can get 500 or 1,000 people, and I think when the other podcasters put it on their shows, I mean, we had a pretty good turnout in New York. I was very impressed by the turnout in Dallas, the month before we did New York. That turnout must have been, I don't know, a couple hundred people.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
300 people, I would estimate. I don't know. But we're going to do it right. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think everybody will have a great experience.
Yeah. Wait till we're not saying mum's the word, but we got a great lineup already. We have all the commitments.
We do.
A few more that I think we can get. So you guys, another week or so, we'll start announcing, but we've got amazing people that are going to be speaking.
Cool. My phone's ringing off the hook right now.
Yeah. We got to let you go. Thanks for giving us the hour today.
Thank you guys. Always good to see you. And I'll be in touch.
All right. Love you.
Love you guys.
Yeah, Matt. See you later. Lots of love. Bye. Excellent. As always, I thought his phone was starting to go. Bzz, bzz,
Yeah. I did too. So, all right. So this was great. I mean, I guess the takeaway, silver's down. Great time to buy. Always a good time to look at, in addition, to rolling over the IRAs if you can, if you're inclined and you have one. And we're going to be having an amazing time in October. So I can't wait till we could start to actually announce details.
Yeah. And apart from on Friday, we've got Jason Q and our Saturday family chat, which everyone's invited to. You know where all the links are. They'll all be coming out. Tomorrow, there's 3 shows. We are doing a show with Razor Wick about the Ethiopian Bible at our usual time. 6 p.m. UK, I'm doing my spin-off show, episode 4, Join the Queue, with Charlie Foxtrot and the Maestro. And then you are doing your spin-off show, aren't you?
Rising Through Motherhood at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
So little late for our friends overseas, but yeah, I'm really excited about this.
I'm really excited to be in that.
It's about motherhood, so it's very, female centric, I guess, but we're also 2 coaches and an astrologer, so we'll probably be talking beyond just the idea of moms per se, parenting, relationships, all that stuff.
I am in touch with my feminine side, and I've listened to so many females all together, right, banging on podcasts over this last 6 years, and it's good. So I'm looking forward to that. And yes, I will be uploading that to our Rumble channel a little bit later.
Yeah.
We get off air, download, upload, etc.
Yeah, and our first episode is entitled "The Invisible Emotional Load Women Carry." So if that has...
Right, you can send me that and I'll put it in the title. That's good. Right, and then also... what was I going to say then? I cannot remember at all. Yes, for your show, that will be going live on our Rumble channel and YouTube channel, yeah?
Yes.
Perfect. Excellent. Okay, lovely, jubbly. Well, that's it. Thank you for everyone in the chat. And we'll see you tomorrow. 3 times, some of you, maybe. Yeah?
Have a good evening and rest of your day, everybody.
Where we go, when we go all. And I'll put Matt's ad on the end, because it is... if you want to keep your money safe, and we're not financial advisors, but a lot of people have been looking into this. Do you trust the banks? Do you trust these institutions? And, I think many people have said this over like the last 4, 5, 6 years, that I think a lot of people are going to find out their pension money has been sort of stolen in certain things, so it's certainly worth looking into. I would have thought the White Hats would be on top of that, once they've taken over all these systems and stuff, so people won't lose out, and people will, we'll probably get more if there's a redistribution of wealth and stuff anyway, won't we? So just hang in there, people. Hold the line. Where we go, when we go all, and love, not fear, and we'll get there.
Bye-bye.
Your financial advisor isn't going to tell you this. Your bank won't mention it. And your 401k custodian, they're hoping you never find out. You can convert your retirement account into physical gold and silver. Real metal in your hands or stored exactly where you decide. It's called a gold IRA rollover, and it's 100% legal, 100% IRS approved. And your financial quote experts, they don't get a commission when you take control like this. Wall Street wants your money in their system, in their accounts where they control it. But physical gold, that's yours. Can't be hacked, can't be deleted, can't vanish when the market crashes. Verity Metals, we're the experts. They don't want you to call. Convert your IRA or 401k into gold and silver that you can actually hold. Call 1-888-318-7598 and quote Patriots Across the Pond.